Welcome to the Vundacast, the official podcast of Vundablog.com, the home of whatever, the podcast that knows that the only way to Suplex City is through the Crossface Expressway. I'm your host, Steven, and with me today, I have a super duper special guest. I have a man whose work I've admired from afar since Mike Kingston introduced it to me at a Florida SuperCon, probably 3, maybe even 4 years ago, to make myself feel like an old nerd. My super special guest is comic book artist, comic shop clerk, and wrestler extraordinaire, Michel Mulipola. How you doing, Michel?
What's up? I'm all good. Yourself?
So you are representing Auckland, New Zealand right now live. This is probably the farthest my internet communications have traveled for a guest. So congratulations to you on longest distance award.
It's being in the middle of Middle Earth, as so to speak, it was quite a distance.
It's very cool. I actually have a couple of our podcast co-hosts, the Meza brothers, Diego and Andres, are actually over in New Zealand right now. They've actually been flying over because they're about to direct an episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead for season 3 that's shooting.
I love Ash vs. Evil Dead.
I'm looking forward to their stories when they come back.
I've got a few friends that've worked on the show.
Yeah, it's they went out there a few months ago to like shadow directors, and they just absolutely loved it in New Zealand. They said it's like the most amazing place to be and live and hang out. Do you agree? Would you ever leave?
I can't exactly complain. I love being based here in New Zealand, living in New Zealand. And as much as I love visiting America, I could never live there. I have it too good here in New Zealand.
Yeah, you can never go full time.
Nah, it's good for a visit, but
yeah. What's the name of your comic book store? Plug it away, please.
Yeah, I'm actually back in the back room of Arkham City Comics in Auckland, New Zealand. So I just kind of shuttered the shop for a few minutes just to speak to you.
Thank you so much, and I hope I'm not taking up too much sales. What time is it over there? I'm sure our listening audience is dying to know.
Daylight savings has just finished here in New Zealand, so it's about 10 past 12 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah, we live in the future here, so I think it's Saturday. Yeah, I think it's a Saturday over there in America, but over here it's Sunday. So
it's Saturday, and it's like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
As we speak, NXT TakeOver is about to start. It's a big wrestling weekend. WrestleMania 33 weekends going down right now. But I'm here with wrestler, comic book artist Michel Mulipola, and he's got some big wrestling notches on his scorecard already. I saw recently you had a tag team match where your tag team partner was the legendary wrestler Haku, aka Tonga.
Yeah, Tonga, Uncle Tonga. That's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me in regards of pro wrestling. And probably nothing else will ever top that. Even if I become New Zealand heavyweight champion, being New Zealand tag team champion with Haku, with Uncle Tonga is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. That was crazy.
Was that Liger's first taste of gold? Was that championship?
No, that was the second time I had won the New Zealand Tag Team Championship. But me being Samoan, Haku being Tongan, we thought it'd be really great for us to be New Zealand Tag Team Champions, especially when the audience that we were performing in front of was full of Polynesians. So we were kind of like,
Move?
Was it?
Okay.
It was a face move. Yeah, we're both faces.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're in front of our own people, Polynesians, Samoans, Tongans, and the like in the neighborhood. And so we thought it would be fitting that we became New Zealand Tag Team Champions in front of them.
Congratulations on your reign. May it be ever.
Only lasted the week. Only lasted the week because the following week we were in another town where there was more white people. So we thought, okay, this time we'll heal it up. So no one's gonna boo Tonga or Haku. So I thought I'll heal it up, and so I lost the championships, blamed him, and then I got a Tongan death grip for my troubles.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did what was best for business. Win it in front of brown people, lose it in front of white people. It's what's best for business.
That's awesome. Did he impart any wisdom to you about the business or about coming up or anything?
Not really. He had a lot of road stories about his time as a young boy in Japan and going over to America the first time, and about his like reputation for being the hardest man in pro wrestling. But a lot of it was just spent time just talking about life in general. We don't really talk too much about like, oh, how do I progress as a pro wrestler? It was just more about getting to know each other, and in the end, he ended up becoming family, which was the best thing. So Uncle Tonga. That's kind of crazy for me to say. Yeah,
that's really beautiful. He was just on Chris Jericho's podcast, and it was really awesome listening to him. He had such a great laugh, and seemed so warm.
Yeah, he's like honestly, when I first met him, I was like, okay, this is Haku. This is someone that I grew up idolizing. A Polynesian face on my TV. Mm-hmm. And then when I met him, I was like, man, he just feels like one of my uncles, and so that's how I treated him. And he was very he loved that. He loved that I treated him like family, which is like, because obviously you've got like Hispanic.
We got TOs.
We got uncles, you got Hispanic heritage,
godfathers, stuff like that. I'm Cuban.
And so Polynesians are very much like Hispanic families, where family is a very close-knit group, and so I treated him like family, and so he respected that, and he loved that so much. And I even got to meet his sons, Tamatonga and Tangaloa.
Cool.
And and they when I met them, they came over and thanked me for looking after their pops. But for me, it was just looking after my uncle. That's how it felt. He was never someone that was famous or kick-ass. He was just family, and that's how I treat him, and that's what he is now. So that's cool.
Do you have any other connection like into the business? Do you have any family members that have traveled your road before, or no?
Nah, like I have even though I'm Samoan, I'm not part of the Samoan dynasty or anything.
No, I'm not.
But
I'm not guessing you are. I'm just just checking.
I've got no family that were in the business or anything.
Cool. So at what age did you start getting into art and like realizing like, hey, I really am enjoying doodling on a page?
That one's always a tricky question, because since I was a kid, like most kids, they love to draw. Mm-hmm. Whether they're good at it or bad at it, they just love to draw. There's something about doodling that kids just enamored with at such a young age. And because I found comics before I even started school, my love of drawing turned into my love of drawing comics and comic book characters. And so I've been drawing since I could remember, pretty much. So that's always a little weird. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, when did they start drawing, or when did you start drawing professionally? But in terms of when did I start drawing, it was ever since I could pick up a pencil or pen.
But you've always kept the same amount of sustained the same amount of tenacity for it? Or was it at a certain point 13, 14, you realized oh, this is maybe.
Yeah, it's as I said, because I discovered comics before I started school. They've always been a part of my life. And so I've always wanted to draw comics because I enjoyed drawing. I enjoyed comics. And so for me, I was like, I want to draw comics. And it wasn't until I guess my teens where I thought maybe I could do this. But then, again, teenage years, maybe I could do this, or maybe I can't, Mm-hmm. But it's something that I always had, and having that kind of anchor point throughout my whole life meant that I had a focus, which I guess was lucky for me, because I know a lot of my friends, a lot of people I know, they never know what they want to be until maybe their 20s or something. But I had this central focus of drawing comics all throughout my life. And so that definitely helped kind of keep me on track, and there's times where I strayed, not thinking I could do comics, but comics were always a central focus of my life.
Is there any like favorite thing that you like to draw like over and over? Is there anything that like warms you up specifically drawing something? What are some of the
Uh,
secrets?
phew. Yeah, no, like a lot of times, I don't. Yeah, a lot of times I don't do warm up drawings. There'll be times where I feel like it, but a lot of times I just go straight in.
Hmm.
I go in cold, really, and just start drawing whatever project is at hand. Um, but for me, just anything and everything really is my favorite thing to draw. Um, because each thing I draw is just another thing, another notch in my belt in terms of my artistic skills. So I like drawing wrestling and superheroes and stuff, but I also like drawing monsters and zombies and even like boring stuff um, I guess like environment stuff.
Hmm.
Like I'm still getting my head around environment stuff, but like I like adding those little details in the environments to make them feel real,
Real.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
livable. So yeah, um,
Yeah.
anything, everything. I enjoy drawing.
Yeah, so Mikel's art is just fantastic and Headlocked. And I guess you have technically this is going to be your third Headlocked book now, The Hard Way, because you guys did the last territory and then you guys backed up and did the Kickstarter before this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
with
So
with
sorry.
three books now technically under your belt, how do you make your page counts? Like, is that like a rush or is it just consistency every day or?
Yeah. It's a bit of both. A bit of consistency, a bit of rush. For me, when I when I finish a page, I just move on to the next one. I don't dwindle on what could have been. I don't think, I should really have changed that and whatnot, because when I'm doing each graphic novel for Headlocked, it's 115 pages,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
if I spent time going back and fixing all the stuff that was wrong with the previous pages, I won't be able to get my work done. So I've gotten to a point where once I do a page, I just move on and do the next one, and do the next one, then the next one, and the next one, and then before you know, it's like, oh, I'm done. 115 pages, which usually takes about 4 to 6 months of my life. I try and average
Wow.
a page a day, um, sometimes two, three, depending on what's needed. But a lot of times I try and average a page a day, and just it's just a constant grind. And sometimes if I'm behind the schedule, I'll rush a few things. But overall, it's consistency is kind of the main thing.
Your art is just superb, and ever since you've come onto the book, it's really just your art has captured the essence and the spirit and like very much has like the for some reason your art style seems to like give the tone of the book perfectly. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
serious, but it's still like, a light, grand affair.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I try my best to kind of like Mike, treat the subject matter of pro wrestling with uh, the respect it deserves. And so when I'm doing the quiet moments, um, I try and make those as interesting as possible. But when it comes to the wrestling, I try and make it dynamic yet still grounded in reality, because
mhm,
we're not doing a fantastical wrestling story. We're doing a kind of very reality based wrestling story. So all the action and or in the ring needs to kind of reflect that, but also give that dynamic sense to what pro wrestling does, and is. And so yeah. So and my experience as a pro wrestler as well also helps with that, because every time I draw the wrestling action, I want it to be legit. I want other workers to look at it and see little Easter eggs in terms of those who know the business, who are in the business, in terms of like positioning
mhm,
and wrestling holds and stuff like that.
cool.
Um, yeah, and so I make a lot of effort to showcase that, but also in a dynamic way, so that those who aren't familiar with wrestling can see this cool looking action, but still grounded in reality.
Very neat. And Headlocked, the hard way is on Kickstarter right now. I contributed. I went down to the 110. I wanted to get like 10 copies of this book so that I could, give them as prizes on the podcast. So I'm excited that some listeners in a
Oh
few
man,
months are going to get some shipments of Headlocked on us.
yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for the support.
I've been a big Headlocked fan for a long time, and when I met Mike at a Florida SuperCon, it was just great getting to talk wrestling with him, and then the benefit of actually him having a very interesting and um, different comic book that was really just captivating was a pleasure. Like an added bonus on meeting an awesome person. How did you get mixed up with Mike Kingston?
Well, several years ago, I think 2010, I actually won about $10,000 in New Zealand for a competition run by an energy drink here in New Zealand. And with that money, I said that I wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con and kind of showcase my work and get some feedback, get some critiques, and hopefully come back a better artist, or even with a better idea of where I stood in terms of comic art. And as I'm walking around the San Diego Convention Center, I come across Mike Kingston with his Headlocked booth. And I think at that time, I think Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Eric Young were at the booth because I saw them first, and then I realized it was a wrestling comic.
Yeah.
And I had my portfolio with me, and I talked to Mike and I said, "Oh, I'm a comic book artist and a pro wrestler from New Zealand." He goes, "Oh, that's cool. Do you have any of your stuff here?" I go, "Oh, yeah, cool." I showed him my stuff, and he was just like, "Whoa, dude, this is freaking awesome! Like, we've got to do something." And so that's how I met Mike Kingston. And then the following year, I said that was 2011. The following year, he got me to do a short, I think, convention exclusive story for Headlocked, and that was it. I remember him saying that this is the first time he's never asked for any edits to the story. I pretty much nailed it on the first go, and so he was very excited to work with me on future Headlocks.
Wow. And the legend was born.
Yeah, it was crazy. That first San Diego Comic-Con was pretty crazy in terms of getting my work out there, getting people seeing it, getting a lot of great positive feedback about my work. Because here in New Zealand, my work's pretty good, but I felt like I needed to understand how I fit in terms of an international market. And so going up to San Diego was more of me just seeing if what I needed to work on. I wasn't there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get a job." I was there to kind of see where I fit and also how I can improve on my art. And so that first trip fully changed my life in terms of the people I met, like Mike and stuff, and in terms of how I saw myself as an artist.
And that's a great attitude. That seems like a winning attitude. Two last questions, and then I'll let you get back to your comic book patrons.
Yep.
One quick random question, because I just saw the new Power Rangers today. Have you seen the new Power Rangers yet?
No, I haven't. I have not seen the new Power Rangers yet.
Okay.
I've heard some pretty encouraging things about it, so I'm definitely keen to watch it.
I don't want to raise your expectations too high.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it a lot, and there was the Rangers do a wrestling move in it that I was like, "Whoa! I guess this move's pretty over if it's in Power Rangers."
That's
so
cool.
That's
I'll
cool.
keep an eye out for that. I have wrestled as a Green Power Ranger.
Oh, nice.
For a local convention here in Auckland.
Nice. Did you come into the Dragon Zord flute song, or what did you come into?
No. I was in the crowd. I was a plant. I was a plant in the crowd, and one of our heels, because it's a convention, it's a comic convention here in New Zealand, called Armageddon, and one of our heels comes out and he starts cutting a promo about cosplayers and stuff, and he kind of challenges cosplayers in the crowd to fight him. and he goes around the crowd like talking smack to other cosplayers until he comes to me, dressed up as the Green Power Ranger, and the crowd are like, "Yes, the Green Power Ranger," and I act all shy, like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, no, I don't think I can. And the guys are like, "You can do it, bro. You can do it. You can smash him." I'm like,
Oh my
okay,
god.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So I walk very gingerly, and I accidentally like walk in front of the projector, which is showing like the graphics on the screen. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm hamming it up as like this real awkward person who doesn't really want to wrestle. And as I step into the ring, I get my foot caught on the rope, and so like I look like I've never stepped in the ring before. And then this guy's talking smack, and as he swings his, for a clothesline, I duck, and then I take his head off, and then I take off the helmet, and I've got my green Liger mask on. So I got my green Liger mask with a green Power Ranger suit, and then the crowd just went absolutely nuts, and I just kill him. So yeah, so I like to do stuff like that. I've dressed up as Bane, and challenged people in the crowd. Yeah, so I like doing stuff like that, especially at conventions.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A Florida SuperCon, our con down here, used to do used to have their SuperCon wrestling that had, lots of
I think I've seen,
cosplay people
yeah,
wrestling.
I think I've seen some footage.
Yeah. And the first year that we met Mike, it was actually me and him talking about and critiquing it.
Yeah.
And the night that I met him was one of the craziest nights in their wrestling history, because I was in the crowd with some of my friends, and they were just supposed to have like a chairs match, I guess, or no, it was supposed to be a ladder match only.
Yeah.
But since we started doing a tables, ladders, and chairs chant at the sound of ladders,
yeah,
the announcer said tables, ladders, and chairs, and then they felt obligated to give everyone a tables, ladders, and chairs match. So the way they decided to save it was to just have every wrestler that they had in the match, so that it would just be so busy no one would notice, no one knew what they were doing. And it got a little way too out of hand. Like, people were not going through tables properly.
Yeah.
And it ended up with Deadpool hanging from the belt suspended above everybody, and then falling down from the roof, and then having an ambulance called for him. So there were better nights. But it was,
yeah.
That
sounds cool.
And last question. This WrestleMania weekend, do you have any NXT or WrestleMania matches you're particularly looking forward to as a fan?
Not really. The only thing I watch on a regular is NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And I like most of the matches that they put on anyway. I don't really have any that I'm really amped for watching. WrestleMania, I can't invest the time in watching 3 hours of Raw. And some of the SmackDown stuff. Some of the SmackDown stuff, I watch the highlights. I watch like the YouTube channel, just to see what's happening. Oh, okay, that's cool. I do like what Miz and Maurice have been doing. That stuff has been hilarious. The John Cena, Nikki Bella parodies they've been doing. I've had a good laugh at. So I'm probably looking forward to seeing how that goes. But none of the matches really have me going, oh yeah, that's a must see. I do want to see what Samoa Joe's doing. I'm happy he gets something. But yeah, none of the matches. Yeah, none of the matches have really kind of stuck out as must see for me.
The only one that piques my interest, if it's given enough time, could be a great match, is Jericho versus Kevin Owens, just because they've had a long, rich storyline and have such great chemistry.
Yeah, sure. I forgot about that.
Not a wild card. Yeah, but it's not for a belt or anything. You know what I mean? Like, how much time can they give them? It's like, such a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
But on that awesome note, wait, no, we can't end on that note. That's a horrible note. Okay, a better note to end on. You're a Green Lantern fan. I love Green Lantern.
Yep.
I'm a fan. Who's your favorite Green Lantern villain? Do you have a favorite villain?
Sinestro, hands down. That's
no, it's too easy. That's too easy. Everyone loves Sinestro. Come on. Beyonce, number two in the ranks.
Okay, number two. I did like Black Hand, and especially Blackest Night Black Hand.
For sure.
Like the whole morbid, funeral director, funeral home thing. Him lying with his family. So like Black Hand was pretty cool.
I miss and I dig. He kind of got a little overexposed, but Dexter, the Rage Lantern Kitty, was a very big fan of mine. Or I was a big fan of his.
I liked Crib.
Crib, yes.
She was cool.
Creepy. She was very creepy.
She's creepy. I like the whole baby snatching kind of.
Yeah, she stole children, put them in her back, and kept them.
And then
that's super creepy. Super creepy.
Crib was pretty cool. I do like the Trust of This as well. I like the Trust of This, and but like Sinestro is number 1. But
who do you think should play Green Lantern in the DC universe? Who would your live action Green Lantern be?
I actually kind of liked the Green Lantern film with Ryan Reynolds.
Whoa!
Yeah,
whoa!
It was weird
Nice.
Because before that, Ryan Reynolds used to annoy the hell out of me, and so I was like, if he doesn't annoy me in this film, then that might be okay. And I remember thinking, you know what, he didn't annoy me, so that was kind of cool. And I liked Mark Strong as Sinestro.
That was great.
It wasn't the perfect film, but I remember thinking, you know what, this wasn't that bad. Like, it could have been so much worse. So I'm one of the minority who actually enjoyed that film.
One of my co-hosts, Mr. J, is still trying to get me to come back around to Green Lantern 2009. See, I got burned on Green Lantern 2009 because I left that theater, and I was so just high off of the joy of Green Lantern being out in a movie that I got like 40 of his one-sheet posters.
Yep.
And I took those to a con recently, and I could not give those out unless I signed them from Deadpool or something.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people have been talking about Chris Pine. He looks like a good Hal Jordan. I just don't like the guy. Really, because he got busted for drunk driving here in New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Filming, and apparently he's a bit of a douche about it. So I was like, I didn't like that guy. But
Will
I can see him
would have been a better Hal Jordan.
But if they go with Guy Gardner, that would be fun.
Oh wow.
Because I think the Justice League, they're talking about uniting the 7, right? But they've only got 5 in the trailer, and 6 would be Superman. So does that mean Green Lantern will be making an appearance? But I would love to see Idris Elba as John Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Idris Elba, I love that dude. That dude's so cool.
I was just
definitely keen to see
Pacific Rim, and he's just amazing.
Definitely keen to see Dark Tower with Idris Elba as well. But if they go with John Stewart, Idris Elba would be cool. But I think he's too old for what they're wanting, which kind of sucks. John Stewart, I would like to see actually. And,
John Stewart, Idris Elba, Vundacast can support this message. Thank you so much, Michel Mulipola. You are the best. Headlocked, the Hard Way is out in Kickstarter right now. Go and support it because the world needs more awesome wrestling comics. And
it does.
Headlocked is a direct vein towards awesome wrestling comics, so we have to keep them fully funded. Thank you so much. Super appreciated. And now to the next part of the podcast, probably with D-Rock, World Heavyweight Podcasting Champion. Click. Boom. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. No, thank you.